Okay.
I have to see the thing go.
The next one up is Paul and Tamara Allison at 604 South Street. They are, let's see, we've got a picture there, I believe. And that's the aerial view of their house. They are at, I think they're at South and East Street.
South and Brewery.
South and Brewery, okay. So everybody get a chance to look at that. They are removing the wooden deck and replacing it with a freestanding greenhouse in their yard. Questions? They are here tonight. Any questions about it?
Honey, do you have the architect drawing of the greenhouse?
It's connected to the app.
Which one is? It looks
Here
like
they
that's
are.
with
Yeah.
inside the lines.
Yeah.
For me, so I think that's the fence.
Oh, nice, that's big.
Yeah, that's double mine.
Is it double the size
Yeah.
of yours? Is okay.
Well, it's not quite double, but
Probably triple mine.
I'll just make a recommendation. Raise it 4 inches off the ground with your framework and set it in deep, because the high wind will move it.
It's gonna have a concrete foundation.
Okay, you're gonna do concrete?
With the mechanical and plumbing and electrical and.
Okay.
Now, with all that, would that require additional, I mean, it just said freestanding greenhouse to me. I mean, it's something that is movable and able to, I don't know, is concrete pad stipulate anything?
I guess freestanding, I meant it wasn't attached to another structure, is
Okay.
what I meant by that. But
It is gonna be on a permanent structure.
it's a permanent structure, but not
So-
connected to the house or the garage.
Okay, nothing else attached to it but that. But there is a little bit, I think, different.
Well, wouldn't they, once they pour that foundation, wouldn't Tom need to go look to make sure of where it is exactly, so it's,
I
Based on,
didn't know what they were supposed to be, but we measured what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay, and, with something like that, that's gonna be like the structure to be poured, the foundation, it would, been helpful to have measured next to the property line to see how far off and back, because there are certain requirements that require them to be, I think it's 3 foot.
I measured from the fence.
isn't that what that is? That's what
That
that means,
white thing
right?
is the greenhouse,
Yeah.
and I wrote on the
So
right there,
10 feet from the fence,
on one side,
Yeah.
in one direction, and
19 from
9
the
feet
other.
from the fence.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're good
I
there.
had seen
Yeah,
theirs.
yeah, they're solid on that.
I
Okay.
just brought that one with me tonight, because I learned.
Unless the fence is way over on somebody else.
Yeah, unless the fence is,
which is possible, as we all
The
know.
fence is on us, between us and the next door neighbor, because we had talked about that before.
Looks good.
Looks nice, nice improvement. Do I have a motion to accept this permit?
I make the motion, we accept the permit.
Second,
Section.
any further discussion?
Your second, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, very good. Thank you for being here. And the next permit application is from Karen Bramlett. This is 709 Church Street. And I must recuse myself from this because I sold Ms. Bramlett the lot. So I feel like I shouldn't have any say in this, so.
kind of close there, aren't
Pardon?
you? You're not kind of close there, are you?
Well, no, there's someone in between. There's someone in between. But Tony, you want to just, we don't have our vice president here,
Yeah,
so
okay.
you want to be vice president?
All right. Everybody looked at the plan?
No.
So this is the lot between
Thornton's
and the
and
White,
Sarah Feaster. Yeah,
and the White House. I don't know if
the
that, is that Sarah
Victoria,
Feaster?
that's Thornton's.
It's the lot, okay.
That's the American
No, gotcha.
Gothic. Yeah, and now,
Yeah, okay.
but here's plans on that.
So what, you build a house there? Is that what?
I'm not going to discuss it.
Yes, she wants
but-
to build a house there.
Okay.
Tom, are we good on the set-asides on it?
That's a little sketchy because did the surveyors confirm what your
Yes,
builders?
that's Andrew Wilson sent the official survey on the back of the picture. On the back of that picture, if you turn it over, it has the official surveyor.
You can come up.
Yeah.
We found the tag, and then I photographed where that was found.
I have my glasses, you can see if it's.
So it would face north, that's on Church Street. And in the back, this flag is right above the little, they call it a monument on that official. Right
Really?
there, it's a monument, and then these up here are 10 inches below 15 or so years ago. So the only thing that we noticed was, instead of this, it should be 50 feet here, it was to the boundary, it was really just 3 foot from this brick wall is where 50 feet comes to. So when they measured right here, and so right here is to the brick wall.
Of the other house.
Yes, here's the white flag.
Yeah.
This is 50 feet out. So we put a flag in at 10 feet where the garage is, and at 11 feet up where the brick is. But still, this is just 3 feet from that wall.
And what is it? Is this your
This is
property?
the 50-foot, yeah.
Okay, that's
the boundary. That's the boundary from that monument, that back corner monument. From here
Okay.
to here is right to there, right in the concrete, and it even says it in that drafting
So the
plans in
survey
the
pics from the
concrete.
concrete.
Yeah, so it's
So
in
how
there.
far does it have to be off the property line? What's that one?
In this one, it's supposed to be 8 feet, I believe.
8 feet.
But the property, it appears, if this is all measured correctly, that the brick house is about 5 feet too close, or maybe even
Yes.
closer.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
They
So
got
okay.
it wrong years
Oh,
ago.
now I see what you're saying.
See,
Yeah,
it's
so
this
they,
close,
they,
it's this
yeah.
close.
Yeah,
But
this
we
is,
were gonna come out to there, we were gonna come out to 10 and 11 foot, but this is the line.
okay, but, and that's still your plan, is to stay,
Oh,
That-
yeah.
Yeah.
would you
Because
say
we
10 to
redrew
11
it.
foot off?
We redrew it to make sure that we were in those parameters. So,
Yeah,
see, the other side is 14.5,
Yeah, okay.
and then
But
this
you're saying
side
11
is
feet
10.
off of this wall.
Right. Right. because
Okay,
that
so
was-
11.
That'd be
so
11
would be
foot
three
easily
feet.
between the buildings.
Yeah,
That'd be
it's
8
9,
feet.
and then, I didn't do
So
my
it should
math
be 8
right.
feet out, or 8 feet in.
Just right at it.
8.
Right at it.
Yeah, so you're right at it then, so she
Yeah,
should be.
yeah, I think, yeah, if those numbers are accurate, then I don't see any issues.
The Graver Amish people did it together. These two guys that, from Graver, the Amish builders that have been here in town, that's who
Oh,
measured
okay.
it.
Can I see the picture again? Let me just see it.
Okay,
So how will you, like it'll be facing Church Street?
Yes, that right there will face Church Street.
Yeah, that'll face Church
Yes.
Street. So where will be the driveway?
In the back, off of the easement, behind Connie's house.
Okay, so there won't be a driveway off of
Right,
Church, okay.
right,
There aren't.
Well,
There's a
I didn't
common
think there was,
drive, if I'm-
because-
right.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, that runs between you and Wines Apples,
That's right. And
all the
back.
way, almost, and I just probably all the way to the property line over there, or it could be,
Nearly, yeah.
Okay.
nearly,
and I
yeah.
imagine there, at one time, there was an alley that ran between the properties back through there.
No, I don't
No,
think.
that was
no.
all
doesn't-
one
it
big
doesn't look
property.
like
That-
No,
okay, so
no,
that was one
that was
solid.
actually business for oil field supply. General oil field supply is what was there for
Really?
years and years and years.
Wow.
I heard it was there somewhere. I don't know where it was at exactly.
It was right there
That
on
whole
that
lot?
corner, right there.
I know if it was that or across the street from me.
Yeah, it was General Oil Field
Okay.
Supply, and they were, or not General, it was, oh shoot, I'm drawing a blank on the name. Was it General? Because General was on the outside of town about 4 or 5 miles. Anyway, Continent, well, whatever, it doesn't make any difference.
Right.
But there was a business sit there on that whole lot right there at one time.
Any other discussion on questions? Was it motion?
Make a motion to accept the building of the house.
Second?
Second. Okay. Can I have a vote?
Oh, aye.
Aye. Okay.
And I
Motion
recuse.
passed, and
Right.
Connie's recused.
I got that down.
Thank you.
Back to me.
I like the design. It lends itself
does
well
look
for a solar panel eventually, which is what I was looking at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was told to ask, so the water access, I just asked the water folks to come and make that happen there's 3 or 4 water meters on that lot.
On the lot, as far as I know, I've only seen one.
There's one up here, there's one up front,
on
there might be
Church
2
Street.
up front, and then there's one back here, and then the utility box, but there's at least 3 that.
Okay, I have to look at it.
We got a guy here that is
Yeah.
aware of what's going on, and he will be the guy to come down.
Yeah.
Karen, he is our
Right.
superintendent,
He's-
utility superintendent.
Nice to
I'll-
meet you.
You too, yeah.
This is Jonathan Weber.
Yeah, I'll have to look and make sure, but yeah, I will.
One.
Yes. But yeah,
Make
I
sure
will-
there's only one that is.
Right. Yeah, make sure-
Just only one hooked up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we will keep these copies to be part of this permanent record, is that okay?
Anybody else want to?
Do you have everything yourself?
I have these photographs, and I have that, yes, I have that, and I have that. I just think I can get that picture again.
Well,
Well, we can just copy
You
it.
could copy it, and we could keep a copy.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Okay, so, do you want me to ask them to?
Okay, all right.
You don't
So-
want a copy of that too?
I have one.
Oh.
All right, the next thing is the schedule for the completion of the comprehensive plan. It's gonna be done, and I'm gonna pass this around. This is scheduled for all of us. Because my goal is to have this completely finished and accepted by the town council in May. Now, there was supposed to be a steering committee meeting today, and it was postponed because they were all driving down from Indy. So the next steering committee, probably the last steering committee meeting, will be March 5th, 2 weeks from now. And then there will be the day of our next meeting, which will be March 19th. There will be a community open house from 4 to 7 at Thrall's Opera House. And they're going to present the main ideas that all the input has led them to. They'll have posters. It won't be like the workshop exactly. It'll be more of them presenting kind of the summary of what they've done. There's one for everybody.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, I thought there was 3 different copies there.
Yeah, no, it's all the same thing.
Okay.
What we are gonna have to do is have a special meeting on April 9th. Because if you recall, the Plan Commission accepts the comprehensive plan, and then we recommend it to the town council. Then the town council will have the first reading, and then the second reading, and hopefully they will finalize it then in May. So write on your calendar, April 9th, and REA will be here to present the thing to this body specifically. And that's why I made paper copies for us all, so we can have all these dates,
5 o'clock, right?
5 o'clock.
On April the 9th.
Correct. And that'll be a special meeting, so we will advertise that, it's a public meeting, just like this is, so. So we will approve it, hopefully, and then we will recommend it to the town council. And they will put it out there, have first reading and then second, and adoption, hopefully. So that is that.
I have a question, but.
Yeah.
So the council who has their first reading, can they say, well, we want to change this, then do we have to redo the whole process, or the whole, tell REA change this, and then
It would come back to us,
Okay.
yeah, because the comprehensive plan comes through the plan commission.
I thought so, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes. That's one of the reasons it was important to include the plan commission and the town council at that last workshop, so that everybody got a bite of the apple, so to speak.
Did we ever get numbers on the survey stuff?
No, but I've asked him again, so.
Okay, well, I sent an email as well, so I was hoping one of us would get that
No, I don't have that.
eventually.
I don't have that.
I'd like, that
Well,
was for,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
understand.
yeah, in the long run, that I think is somewhat important. That way we can also use that for future reference on.
So
things.
so you're saying our next meeting is gonna be at the community open house?
No, we can go over there after our meeting.
Oh, it's after
Or
ours.
before, it's 4 to 7.
Oh, 4 to 7, okay.
Yes, so it happens to be the same day as
Oh, gotcha,
this
gotcha,
regular
okay.
meeting at 5 o'clock,
All
so.
right.
Because I figured we would all be here,
Yeah.
so I try to plan these around when I know people are gonna be around.
That was on the 19th, right? March the 19th.
Yes, and that's our regular meeting, so,
Yes, that's scheduled.
okay? Any other questions about that? I haven't looked at their website lately, so I don't know, they were probably planning on putting stuff up after this final steering committee, so probably nothing new up there, I don't know for sure. So that one is that. Codification update. Last night at the town council, council approved for American Legal Publishing to publish our code. I've been working with our attorney, Nathan Maudlin, over the last 6 weeks or so, kind of going over all of their legal recommendations. There were a lot of things that were repealed in Indiana code that had to be taken out or referenced in another way. I mean, there were a lot of things that they found. And then also because the document had been, changed so many times over the years, some places it would say like Board of Trustees or this body was named several different things over time. So all of that was cleaned up. I will tell you this, you'll be surprised, it's much more legible. It's chapters now, and they all like things are together. So land use, zoning, subdivision, that's all one chapter.
And this is all gonna be online eventually. correct?
Yes, so I found out today, we're gonna get the actual physical books within about a week. It's going to take another 4 to 6 weeks to prepare the digital.
Well, it'd just be nice, because as I have done things, I've gone to the Working Man's Institute to find it, and
I know.
to dig through to find which
I know,
article
I know.
applies, and it's like,
I know.
holy.
Well, right, that's right, and
So during that time frame, will the website that we currently have say under construction or something like that, so people won't go there and get confused?
Well, there's nothing on there now. There is no zoning. There's a comp plan on there, but there's not.
I thought there was a little bit of stuff, but it was, okay.
Not zoning code.
No.
So, just the copy that I got, just the digital copy that we worked on, you were able to go in there and search terms. It's gonna be so much better, I just can't tell you. But our game plan is to, because of course there's a lot beyond land use in there, of course. The game plan is, once we get the digital, we'll make a link on a town's website, And we're gonna figure out some way that the public can comment, like give people 30 days to make comments about it. Because I think once people have access, they're gonna have some ideas. That's what I think. So then we're gonna start to come down to improving it and getting rid of the cemetery board or, all these things that no longer exist and haven't for a long time. We'll be able to clean up all that stuff.
Now,
So,
is that this?
no,
This-
that's totally different.
Okay,
That's
Right.
totally different.
okay.
That I'm talking about the codification that is of New Harmony's ordinances.
Okay, that's what I was just wanting
It's
to.
the code of ordinances.
Okay.
So, any questions about that? All right, then the last thing is the applications for zoning change and plat amendments. That's what that is. And I asked Nathan to come because he can help me explain it in a more cogent way. But as we have been talking about, particularly the school is a topic we've all discussed for over a year now, that we want to use whatever we can to prepare so we can get the right kind of information that we need. If that happens, when that happens, and there are other pieces of property in town that could be developed down the road as well. It's not just the school property. There's the Elliott Farm, there's Kent Parker's land. I mean, there are plots. And so I had been, as I have been sitting in on most of the steering committee things, it comes up, people have been talking about it everywhere. And so I started asking REA, what can we do to prepare ourselves? How can we get the right information that we need to make decisions about what would happen down there? What are standard ways that other towns do this? How can we create something that is a basic way for someone to give us information to say, this is what I'm going to do. So she shared with me 2 applications that the Plan Commission can adopt because these are not legal, in terms of, this is not an ordinance. These are procedural for this body. This is the body that would get whatever somebody wants to do with a piece of property, they come here. These are not ordinances. These are applications. So this is a procedural thing in order for us to get information about somebody that wants to change the zoning on their property, somebody who wants to subdivide from one piece of property to 2 or more different, separate properties. Those 2 things, that's what these 2 documents are specifically.
Okay, so then take their application and and then compare it to this application process and make sure that it conforms, or if there has to be changes or something to be addressed, this should answer that.
Well, yes, but the property owner would be given this
And conform to what the rules.
to our zoning
To the
code. Now I will say that this is like the latest. This is the latest thing that is standard for the state of Indiana. These
Okay.
documents are, what is used.
What is current.
That's right. And our code has not been updated to reflect that, for a long time. So what we have to do, we can approve these applications, these documents, and we can use these. We will then have to make a recommendation to the town council to make sure that the code conforms to what these say specifically.
That's correct.
Anything you want to add to that, sir?
I think that, hi, I'm Nathan.
Nathan Maudlin is the town attorney.
And we've been working on this, and the plat application, we have a subdivision ordinance.
You remember that, we
Yeah.
passed that out, Rod passed that out to us.
And that was adopted, the Plan Commission recommended back in 2005 that the town adopt it, and they did. So that's the subdivision ordinance that exists today. And what this plat application asks for information, that's a little bit different than what the subdivision ordinance requests right now. One of the biggest parts is if you look at your plat application, there's something in there called the
Technical Review Committee?
the Technical Review
Yeah,
Committee.
that's the
Right.
desire.
And
It's on there, Ron.
right, and basically what that is that the person who wants to subdivide fills out all that information, and then then the Plan Commission creates what's called a Technical Review Committee. It's made up of members of the Plan Commission and whoever else you think should be on it. Probably like maybe a historic person, a utility person,
Civil engineer.
an engineer.
Archaeologist.
Well,
Some cases
Well,
here.
depending on what the project is.
Yeah.
Well, if it's the school, for example,
Yeah.
the fire people, the police,
Yeah.
I mean, they probably should be consulted on
Yeah.
if something that big. And then that committee reviews things and then makes a recommendation to you, and then you do whatever you do with it. Some of the language that is being updated is in the procedure of that review committee. What we have right now, it says, it has a lot of mandatory things, like this person shall be in it, this person shall be in it.
And
this
they
person
are
shall-
just county people.
Yeah.
They aren't, they're not local, so we would not control that. It says like, the
The
area
county
plan
surveyor.
commission member,
So,
building inspector from Mount Vernon, it needs to be, I think it needs to be here.
and so what we've done with this is make it be, so where this group has more to say, and it's also more permissive. There could be something where you say, we don't need to do this. We don't need a technical review committee. And so you don't do it. I mean, in their old ordinance, you had to do it. So that kind of stuff is what's being changed. And then there are also some other changes, like the size of the map that the person needs to provide you so you can see it. That's a little bit different. The new thing is more consistent with what other towns are using. But those are the basic changes. And what Connie was saying was that the applications that you have do not reflect the current code. But if you accept these applications with the intention of, at some point, recommending to the town council that they amend the current code to reflect that, I think that'll be fine.
Which would
Does that make sense?
which would stop some of the confusion on development.
Yeah, that's the whole idea.
Well,
And it
right.
also gives this group some measure of control over what happens
Yeah.
in a particular place.
And then plenty of opportunity for questions that might come
Absolutely.
to be
Well, that's,
discussed and passed around.
well,
And
right.
passed on to the different people that are going to be involved in this.
Well, right.
And that's a big part of the
Yeah, that's what it
process.
sounds like, yeah.
Well, and it requires, if you've ever served on the BZA, or if you've ever applied for a variance, you have to notify your neighbors, within so many feet.
300 feet.
You have to, well, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this is already within our code. So what this does is someone who wants to do something major in New Harmony has that same responsibility to notify the neighbors, to put an ad in the local newspaper, so that it's just above board. And-
Surprise.
Well, and,
If I may,
Yeah.
another thing that this does is it makes it easier on the applicant because they can, the school's a good example. Let's say that somebody wants to develop that and carve it up into lots and build houses like that lady just showed you. The scheme that they present, you may not be able to approve it because it doesn't conform with our zone. They may have to get a variance.
Yeah.
So the way this process is that the person can do both things around the same time. You know, they can submit their plat application to you, and at the same time, they can go to the Board of Zoning Appeals and say, if the Plan Commission approves this, will you give me a variance so I can build these
Do
houses
this,
way?
and this.
Yeah.
Well-
When would this take effect?
Well, if you guys adopt this application tonight, it's tonight.
Yeah.
This is
So
just an
the-
application process.
So the guy that left the school, he hasn't really said anything, has
He
he?
hasn't done anything.
So when he comes to us, this would be the first time we would use this.
Correct.
Well, this application, yes, there is a
Yes.
subdivision zoning ordinance on the books now.
Currently, yes.
Yeah,
So if we do accept this tonight, does it have to go to the board to amend the code first? No?
That was the question.
Okay,
And what I advised Connie
right.
was that if this board adopts these applications tonight with the intent of, at some
Okay.
point, recommending to the town council that they amend the
Code.
code to
Right.
fit this, I think that would be fine.
Well, and it's perfect timing because we're gonna be looking at the code and making amendments to the code within the next 6 months or so.
And I would say go faster than that. Just get it done.
Okay,
Can I make a motion that we adopt this? I read this 5 times last night, going through it, just down, and then looked at other codes that I've been associated with in the past in different formulas for development. This looks very good to me, and
well, it's
and will
thorough.
help us.
I mean,
in the long run.
these are all the forms for the plat application, page by page. There's a lot to do, but, it's a serious business.
Yeah, and if somebody is going to develop a section of the community that may affect all of us, it's important that we have that review
Mhm.
and we have that information all brought to us before they start, because we know sometimes that happens. And I've seen it happen many times in past communities I've lived in. Things have happened and we're like, how did that get through? And nobody
Right.
even knew. They just went ahead and did it. Marathon Oil at Robinson being one of those things.
Well, okay, so you're
I would
making a
like,
motion
I would
that
like
we-
to make the motion that we adopt this and make a recommendation that the council then puts it into place.
to amend
To amend.
And
the
amend
ordinance,
to-
the subdivision
to
ordinance.
to-
Yeah.
And use this format, especially before the school property becomes an issue for us.
Second,
a second.
discussion.
The only question I have is, this gentleman bought this property under the assumption he might have looked, I don't know about that. And if there's any changes, are we gonna be have to battle through that? If
He
he
hasn't
says, well,
submitted.
wait a second, I bought it, and that was at the time, this is what, the ordinances said, now you're making me do all this other stuff. I mean, is that gonna be an issue?
It shouldn't be, because the zoning ordinance, the subdivision ordinance has been in effect since 2005. And what these changes are, actually make it easier on the applicant. And it makes it easier on you guys too.
Okay.
I mean, if they.
Well, I mean, there's more things he'll have to do, though.
No, not really.
No, nothing specific. I don't know the old one, but this.
I didn't think on the old one they had to submit as much stuff, I guess is what I was saying.
It's
Maybe they
pretty
did.
close to.
Is it?
what-
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah,
long list, there is a long list.
I
This
read
it's-
the
is,
old one, so I don't.
well, this is more, I would say this is more clear. It's a checklist
All right.
instead
That's the
of,
only thing we just don't want, a guy putting a subdivision in.
It's a fair question.
Right out of the chute, there's.
No, all of a sudden
animosity.
somebody changes the rules and you can't.
Well, there's animosity between a guy who's investing a lot of money in the town.
Well, and technically, he could legally have a fallback to say, hey,
But, I mean, if that's
I bought it under these circumstances and now
Well, if I think you have the authority to do what you're doing.
Okay.
If a court were to say different and say, no, you gotta go under the
Still wouldn't be that big
2005.
of a
If something was changed
And
and
it goes
what was
back,
current.
you're still
at the
gonna have a
time
big
first.
procedure that
Okay.
the person's gonna have to go through. The biggest change will be that technical review committee, you'll have to do what it says.
Well,
Yeah,
and then
we'll
the
have
other
to
thing on
rely
it
on
is he's not
him.
submitted a plan to us yet for that. He purchased the property
And
of
there's no application or
speculation.
anything for that.
We don't
No.
even know if it's done deal.
Yeah,
Has he paid, does he own title to it? You don't even, all
Fair,
we know
yeah,
is that
yeah.
he got the bid.
yeah,
That's
and
fair.
so,
Isn't that right? We don't. there's
As
not
far as I
really-
know.
yeah, and
That's
so
I
right.
that,
haven't heard anything any different.
there
That's
is no legal ramification along
No.
those lines on this.
Well, let's vote on this one then.
Yeah, so,
And the deal could theoretically fall apart if they didn't raise the money or something.
All right, vote.
Okay,
We
all
seconded it,
right.
but we didn't vote.
We didn't vote
We had
yet.
discussion, let's have a vote, let's have a voice vote on this.
Okay.
All in
Aye.
favor?
aye.
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 Any opposed? Very good.
Carries.
Very good. Thank you very much. You know, there's gonna be a lot of work to it, whether it's the old code or the new code, but at least this gives us some information. And it gives us the ability to find experts. I'm not a civil engineer. I don't know about soil compaction. I don't know that stuff. I don't know that any of us do. So this gives us the ability to bring in expertise that we need for these big, serious things. So, thank you.
Question.
Thank you.
Plat application, is that correct?
Pardon?
Plat application, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
One
Okay.
T, one.
Big, big
And
bold letters, okay.
zoning amendment.
Yeah.
Or zoning change, you can call it zoning change as well. Okay,
Okay.
anything else? I think that is it for the good of the whole.
Good, there's a crock pot of potato soup waiting.
All right, motion to adjourn,
Motion?
second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, man.